and also identifying those areas in which the county government is functioning extremely well and urging the next set of county leaders to do everything they can to keep those projects and processes in order and in effect. The committees that have been identified, or the work groups that are currently laboring to provide this set of recommendations, and the recommendations are to be presented to from the work groups to the executive committee by mid or late August, or excuse me, the end of August, and then the recommendations will be passed on to the county commissioners by September and will be shared with the new government officials in November. The work groups we have are finance and administration, human services, economic development. As a matter of fact, I had an opportunity just, I think it was a week or two ago, to participate in a panel discussion at the economic development work group's kickoff. There's a justice services work group, information technology, boards and commissions, county government collaboration, county council planning, and public engagement. There have also been 2 additional work groups that aren't directly affiliated with the Transition Advisory Group that will be providing a set of themselves of recommendations to the new county officials on a code of ethics and on campaign finance reform. We have had over 1,000 citizens volunteer to be part of this process. A tremendous show of concern and interest in county government today and moving forward. And all of these individuals are being placed on committees, and they're part of this extraordinary process of reviewing what's taking place in county government and preparing for the future. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't take advantage of this moment at the podium to encourage the new county government officials to maintain several very unique county programs. I'm just going to mention a handful of them. The first being Invest in Children. It has become the absolute model of public, private, nonprofit, and philanthropic sector interaction and partnership. It's received numerous national awards, and it's predicated and premised on an enlightened view of early child care, a view that states that one of the best, if you're truly concerned about economic development and workforce development, then you start by making sure that the youngest of our children are prepared for school and the competition that exists in this global marketplace. And Invest in Children has done an extraordinary job through a host of programs that have, whether it's provided a nurse to come and meet with first-time parents and teen parents to help make sure that the parents are armed with the skills necessary to get the child off to the best conceivable start in life, or sending a nurse who can identify early on any particular challenges that child might face so the interventions can be brought to bear sooner rather than later, or working to improve the overall quality of child care here in this community. Invest in Children has been a paradigm of the kind of cooperation, cross-sector cooperation that needs to exist and focus that must be devoted to our children at the very earliest age. So I would hope that Invest in Children not only is maintained, but is also supported even more richly and handsomely in the future by county government. The Cuyahoga County Fatherhood Initiative. Now, you know there's no way that I'd give a speech on county government and not talk about the Fatherhood Initiative. I think it's clear to any and all of us who've enjoyed any measure of success that we've done so because we've had, hopefully, 2 parents actively engaged in supporting us. I know that's been the blessing that I've had with Charles and Margaret Jones. I like to think it's the blessing that my 3 children, Lisa and our children, have through the involvement of both mother and father in children's lives. And the Cuyahoga County Fatherhood Initiative seeks to help, fathers are the tool, the instrument. We work with fathers so we can achieve healthier and stronger families and better outcomes with children. There are 88 counties in the state of Ohio. The only fatherhood initiative is right here in Cuyahoga County. Not only have we expended $1 million a year to seed grassroots activities to help low-income fathers secure job training and employment, to help all fathers improve their parenting skills, to create opportunities for fathers to enjoy quality time in settings that they otherwise might not be able to afford with their children, working to stem the surge in premature fatherhood. We've done all of those things, and we've provided a hotline that 12,000 dads over the last several years have contacted and been referred on to the services that they need. How well thought of is the Cuyahoga County Fatherhood Initiative? Well, in the last 3 or 4 months alone, it's received a $300,000 appropriation from the federal government, a $160,000 grant from the state government, $25,000 grant from the National Fatherhood Initiative, and a $10,000 grant from a local charitable organization. It is the #1 county-sponsored fatherhood program, not just in the state, but in the nation. I would hope that the leaders of the next government understand how wise an investment it is to continue to support fathers, to help them become more engaged, more constructive, more nurturing, more loving, and through them support families and children. Cuyahoga County not only is the only county that has an investment children program and a Cuyahoga County Fatherhood Initiative, but it's the only one that has an Office of Reentry. And considering the fact that the plurality of men and women who are leaving penal institutions from across this state are returning to Cuyahoga County, are returning to the city of Cleveland, indeed are returning to about 3 or 4 zip codes, I believe, shows and demonstrates the need for this kind of initiative. We are offering welcome home guides, newsletters. We're supporting a neighborhood reentry resource center, helping to provide behavioral health and employment and training services to those who are reentering our community. I also would hope that we continue to provide support to Cuyahoga Arts and Culture. Although it's a separate entity now that the Board of Commissioners only appoints its membership to, Cuyahoga Arts and Culture was spawned by the Board of County Commissioners through the establishment of a task force that looked at what we would do if we had public funds available to support arts and culture throughout our community. It was spawned through the Arts and Culture ACE Development Fund that was operated out of our Department of Development and provided funds to arts and cultural organizations to help them put on certain events or simply sustain themselves. We are now #5 in the nation in terms of per capita support for our arts and cultural organizations through public sources. That's a great place to be in. That's a tribute to our community. But the fact is that the funding source that we use, the cigarette tax, is a diminishing source of revenue. We should applaud that on one hand because it means fewer people are smoking, and the people who are smoking less. But the fact is that as a diminishing source, we need to find another source of revenue. And it's going to be important for the next group of county leaders to work with Cuyahoga Arts and Culture and the state legislature to make sure that's done. And finally, because I want to allow time for Q&A. See, economic development's on my mind. I hope that some of the great economic development programs that we've developed over the last several years are also continued. I know that in the charter there is a mechanism for kind of convening a group of men and women who are throughout the county who are involved in economic development, whether it's from the public, the private, the nonprofit world, from educational institutions of higher education, or from our healthcare institutions.